Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and attention coach, 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒. I'm here to talk about observations. It's interesting, it's becoming a lost skill. People react to what they see. And if you're really got ADHD and you really want to understand how to problem solve, you got to look at facts. Too often we look at opinions or feelings or we jump to conclusions. And recently I was reading something Sherlock Holmes related. They said it was the difference between seeing and observation. I'm not so sure if I like those words, but there's a distinction here that I want to highlight and then share with you how it plays out. So when you see something, you see something. An observation is the study of something. It's not jumping to conclusions. It's actually trying to study it, what's going on, patterns, maybe things that are not as visible, etc. And in the world of ADHD, it's a very symptomatic, opinion-based, what you see type observations. And I want to show how this plays out. If you have ADHD, a lot of times what you'll see is you'll have a task that is on your to-do list. And it's been there for a long time. You haven't been doing it. And people will see that it gets kicked down the street and they will assume that you are procrastinating about it. Well, that's just a label. In my work as an ADHD coach, when I study those things that get put off, I often find that one of the reasons that they're put off is because there was some level of ambiguity. Don't know what to do, don't know how long it's going to take, don't know where something is, or there's a working memory challenge. It's a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's still ambiguity. So my observation is people typically don't procrastinate. They put things off for a legitimate reason. So if you make that observation, there's two choices. One, you can shame yourself by calling yourself a procrastinator and continue to repeat that outcome. Or you can say, this is what I'm not clear about and solve for that problem. I think that's a path that's a little bit closer to moving forward. Another observation is if a person's not doing what you want them to do, clearly they must be motivated. Well, I've studied people with ADHD. If somebody's sitting on the couch just watching TV, it's interesting to me is they're probably there because that's what they're motivated to do. I think it's really pretty obvious, but people get confused. If they're not doing what I want them to do, they must not be motivated. Well, no, everything you've ever done before, you did it because you're motivated to do. I think you have to kind of meet things where they are. Years ago, I did an article for Attention magazine, and I called it Ugly Organizational Systems. And this is kind of common with people with ADHD. They have a lot of stuff that's out, particularly their desk. It's kind of it's not aesthetically pleasing, but if it's not aesthetically pleasing, it doesn't necessarily mean it's disorganized. If you study the situation, the person with ADHD, you ask them for something, they can put their hands on it immediately. It's organized. The idea really is organization is knowing where things are so you can get to them quickly. So what's the point of this video? All too often people are observing ADHD by a belief or some filter or some type of emotion or really what they see, and they're jumping to conclusions. The world looks completely different if you actually sit and observe something and study it. Again, everything you do, you're motivated to do. I was coaching a woman the other day and she's like, I'm not motivated to put that book on the shelf. I said, well, what are you doing? What were you doing when you could have done it? I was watching TV. Well, you're motivated to watch TV. No reason to shame yourself on that. That's a fact. So you solve for that problem, you're probably going to continue to watch TV. Again, more problematic. I've had a number of people who had ADHD, got professional organizers, and they put it all away and they couldn't find anything and everything gets back where it was. There's a reason for that. So the idea is self-observation is really just to notice what's going on and realize that there's a reason for it, identify the root cause and solve for that problem. That will help you to go forward. How do you solve for that problem? Well, it depends on you and a lot of other factors. You can watch a lot of other videos on our channel to get tips on how to do that, but it's about self-observation, studying what you're doing. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We release a new video each week with insights, tips, tricks, stuff to move you forward. And if you're an existing subscriber and you like our content, please hit the thanks button down. So we certainly appreciate what we do. This is really a small portion of what we do. We don't really have any advertisers. We just do this for you guys. So with it, oh, also, if you've got any thoughts and comments or other observations, share them with me. I'd just love to share that stuff. So with that, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Radio. Video, excuse me. Take care. Bye.